Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Okay, so Becca at 402-403-9478, she thinks she's hallucinating this, but she's not, because we did talk about your mom having barn cats for mice. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That was a number of episodes ago, she
Yes.
said. But she goes, well, I recently acquired a barn, which is a sentence you don't hear often, plus 2 acres, so
Nice.
many, many mice. Can y'all hook a girl up if you have any
need
extra
some
barn
barn
cats?
cats.
She said, I got in a staring contest with one in our camper the other morning, and she had a picture of a mouse just staring at her by a shoe. So if your mom wants to unload any barn cats, I think we got to take her.
That's hilarious. You know what's funny is Benny is the one that I brought home that was a former barn cat, and she got to be too friendly. Like she would run right up to cars, you know, and it's not like it was like high traffic or anything, but they were just worried because she would follow people everywhere, follow dad, follow mom, and get underfoot. And it was like, okay, you're supposed to be in the other barn doing barn stuff. Mm-hmm. Sketchy barn shit. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I wish we could name this. Sketchy barn stuff.
And you're not. You're over here purring and wanting attention. And so that's why I brought her home when she was not even a year old. And anyway, interesting little side story. Had a guy doing some work for me, and he saw, or we were talking about the cats, and he's a Maine Coon, right? And the poofy, you know, with the
That's what Jory
ears,
was.
right?
They're big.
But this one of my cats, he saw one of my feral cats, Bella, and she has several features that are definitely Maine Coon. She's got the real poofy back end. She's got you can not the ears, but she's got that type of hair that's so different from regular cats. And then we were talking about something else, and one was called a Bombay. He had a Bombay, and Benny, all of her pads are black. She's a black cat, but all of the pads are black, and that is typical of a Bombay cat. If you ever get a chance to look them up, somebody tried to develop a breed, like in the 40s or something like that. And so they wanted one that looked like a panther, is what they were trying to get.
I mean, that's cool.
And so Benny has really green eyes, and the Bombay has like copper, so it looks like a panther.
Ooh,
But they have the black
scary.
pads. Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, Benny. Nope, wrong color eyes, but that's okay. You're part Bombay. Benny the Bombay.
Because like panthers and mountain lions are kind of, I mean, basically the same thing, just different continents. Different colors, obviously.
I don't know that for sure.
Well, I don't either. But I'm just saying, they look like it.
Do we need a fact checker?
There is no trust. It's more like 2 minutes and 45 seconds in.
Oh my God.
There's a show called Alone on it's either Discovery or History Channel. It's one of those, but it's a guy from Lincoln won it 5 or 6 years ago, where they have, I think, 9 people, and they literally drop them by themselves with, and they go through the equipment list. They give them 2 GoPros, they give them a drone, they give whatever. And
I remember this History Channel
and solar things to charge all their batteries, and it's up to them to record everything, and at the end, whoever lasts the longest wins.
Whoever's alive.
Whoever, basically. But I'd have never watched a whole season of it, but this weekend I'm like, there's nothing to watch. We got everything. So I started watching the most recent season, which it may be over by now. I don't know, but it's season 8.
Season 12, I think it says here. Season 8. No,
Okay.
Season 8, episode 12 is where they're at right now.
So good. So the season's still going on. So I started watching the first episode, and this dude is like, all these people they're not like normal like accountants and they just throw them into the ditch and like they're
have
people
some skills.
They're people that like they have majored in the stuff, they know what they're doing. And so this guy was sitting there making a fire, and he had this GoPro on, whatever, watching him make a fire, and all of a sudden you hear crackling behind him, and he stopped. He goes, what was that? And he looked over and he goes, mountain lion. And he slowly grabbed his camera and grabbed the other camera and put it up, and the mountain lion was probably 15 feet from him, just standing there looking at him. And because what he wanted to do,
Wow.
he ran back to get his bow or whatever, and it took off. And I'm like, holy cow! He was ran sitting right there. Yeah.
I don't know. You're talking. It's so funny when you ask
don't
about
run.
That. You don't run
first. That's the first thing you your pants, then you run.
But what did he do? He grabbed his camera.
Right, because he's supposed to. So but he never did poop his pants. He was like, oh, that was so awesome. Like, no, dude, I would have. Where's the tap button? Tap,
Right.
tap, tap. Come get me,
Come
boat.
get me. Pull me out
Yeah.
right now. Beam me up right now.
Gosh.
So I while you were telling that story, I put in difference between mountain lion and panthers. So it says cougars, pumas, panthers, and mountain lion. What's the difference? Cougars have a lot of different names, and they're different. It says different names referring to the same species of large cat. Puma and mountain lion are the same. Are the some of the most common names for cougars.
Okay.
Cougars, puma, mountain lion. So apparently that's all the same. So the name cougar, they said, is kind of a cross between a South American name for jaguar.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so I didn't know that. All right.
I didn't know that either.
Well, now we know.
Now, thank God.
Now we know. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to throw it out there. I hate
I don't even know how we get
unanswered questions. We were talking about barn cats.
Barn cats, that's right.
But I will tell you this, my mom won't give up her barn cats.
Okay.
But definitely, I would definitely, post just anywhere, like any of that. There's actually groups working with barn cats or working with feral cats, because they won't let you rehouse a feral community. But there's definitely plenty of people that have barn cats that would be able to help you out and hook you up. But you don't want them that are tame. That's
we learned that. We learned that from when we had the cat in the backyard. That there's a ton of communities, feral communities, but there's also people that help find places for feral cats if the community is full or whatever.
If it gets too big, then they have to. And I did see a post about that, as a matter of fact, on Facebook this weekend. Somebody was helping a little feral community, and then they realized that like these few cats were like maybe the scouts. And then they went back, not everybody else, and brought them. And so all of a sudden they had a big party.
It's like a gang?
And it's like, holy crap, there's way more in this, way more than we planned on. And so they were trying to figure out what to do in order to be able to feed all of them and help them, prepare for the winter. Yeah. So that might be something to look for too.
Okay. So there you go. Thanks for the text and the picture of the mouse.
Look what you did. You just took up 10 minutes of our podcast.
Thank you. This one is from Chris. It says Teacher Chris. And it's a meme. Abe Lincoln. Sitting there, very stoic. His quote, "Never trust an actor with a gun." Chris has said, enjoy.
You know what's weird? Well, I bring a few things that are weird, but I've got a good one because I had something that had to do with Abe Lincoln. Hold on. Let me find it.
Hulu needs to refresh their promos that have there's a show that they have on, and one of the little clips is Abe Lincoln turning to some kid saying, "This is the worst theater experience I've ever had." And it's been going on it's just been the same promo for a year.
Stop.
Like, dude.
Okay, you've probably heard this before, but I grabbed it because I've seen it and then I lose it, and I think about it and then I can't find it. Abraham Lincoln and the similarities with John F. Kennedy.
Yes, it's very interesting.
So Abraham Lincoln elected in 1846, JFK elected in 1946. Abe Lincoln elected as president 1860. That was to Congress. I'm sorry. Then elected to president 1860. JFK 1960. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln.
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Lincoln's secretary told him not to go to the theater. Kennedy's secretary told him not to go to the theater. Oh my God. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908.
What?
Stop it. John Wilkes Booth was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, 1939.
That's crazy.
And they both have three names on top of it. Lincoln was shot at the Ford Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln.
Okay, I've never heard that one.
Which was made by Ford.
That was... What? That is really weird.
A week... I don't know if I want to do this one. Never mind.
Okay. Probably a good call.
All they were going to say was... I'll just say the first half and you figure it out.
Okay.
A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland.
Oh, got it. Yes. Again,
anyway,
probably accurate.
Was with her, but anyway.
That's funny.
Lincoln was shot in a theater. The assassin ran to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse. The assassin ran into a theater. Stop.
Too bad they didn't know this all beforehand. Like, hey, listen, we've been running into some similarities between you and JFK, or you and Abe Lincoln. Maybe we should kind of watch our step.
Mm-hmm. And both of the assassins were killed before their trials. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that is fun.
How weird that I grabbed that.
You love a good. Okay, not only do you love a good whatever that is, coincidence. Not in case that's not a conspiracy theory. Yeah, but I also noticed your post this I think it was yesterday.
Yeah,
like you're the only person I know that would post stats and facts about the backstory of the daylight saving time situation. I saw that and I read that. I'm like, I'm scrolling through and I'm like, oh God. I'm like, so I read it to Beth and I'm like, yeah, this is such a Jill post.
It is.
Like, you can't just go, daylight saving time sucks. No, it's got stuck with backup facts.
Because
and
it was a stupid joke. It was meant as a joke and people took it serious because Ben Franklin said it. Dumb.
Totally dumb. Yeah, I'm over it. Yesterday we forgot to set the clocks back in the kitchen because our phones, everything is accurate, but like microwave, whatever, all that stuff. And we spent most of our time in the kitchen, and we were outside working, so we didn't have our phones or our watches. So we come inside and it's starting to get dark. I'm starving. Whatever. We get the grill fired up, and we're in the middle of eating, and we look up and it's 4:10. And we thought it was like 5 o'clock and whatever.
You were on the downhill side.
Yes,
right?
we were on the downhill. And when she goes, you realize that it's only 4:10,
and we wanted to eat now.
We were starving.
It is. It really sucks. And I agree with people, though. We want to wait till the spring because we want to spring back ahead.
And then freeze it.
Freeze it.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
But I will say yesterday was a really big day TV-wise, real quick, before we get into some other stuff. I don't even need to go there, I'm sure. I'm not going to give any spoilers because I know it just started streaming as we speak. It is Monday, the 8th, but 7th was season 4 of Yellowstone. Oh, God. I got to watch it again today. I haven't
watched one episode of the show. I need to watch it. I know I love it. I just need to sit down and watch it.
You will. I watched yesterday. I just had the TV on that channel because they were rerunning all of the previous seasons. Mm-hmm. So I watched like the last 3 episodes of season 3, which, holy crap, forgot about some of this stuff.
I think it's been since like Tiger King that I've heard so much talk about a show.
I know. It's crazy.
Because people don't talk about, like, it's Tiger King, this show, and there's been a couple other in the last few years, but sounds huge.
You'd have to go back. In my opinion, I'd probably go back to Lost. The last time, it was like people like watched, because you had to watch everything that happens to know all the little nuances that are going on. I mean, you can just watch it, I guess, in the background if you want to, but that'd be such a waste.
It's so stupid.
That'd be such a shame.
Why would you want to do that? That's dumb.
So it's fantastic. It's back, and yes, it is streaming as of today, so y'all can watch. Also, Dexter is back.
Is it?
Yes.
I heard the rumors
New
that it was
blood,
coming back.
And the first episode is awesome.
Okay, so
it's bonkers.
Back on Showtime?
Yes.
Same cast?
Yes.
That's nuts.
You're gonna. I mean, there are appearances that you're like, oh my God, you're kidding me. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It just made it like
I was surprised.
Food.
To me, that show ended. I think it only went 5 seasons or 6 seasons. Like, it ended to me super too quick. Like, why are you ending now? Just like with This Is Us being its last season, this next season is last season. Like, why? Let it ride out.
I think Dexter originally was on from 6 to 13. So
7
8
years.
or 8 seasons.
Yeah. Okay.
8 or 9 maybe. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Michael C. Hall, and remember his girlfriend.
Sister, right? Sister wife.
Well, sister.
They were married.
They were married in real life, and they play brother and sister.
Super weird. But when
I found that out, it really grossed me out.
But it'd be weird. It'd be flip it the other way. Brother and sister in real life played husband and wife on the show. That'd be worse.
They can't do that.
Why? They can do whatever. They're actors. They can do whatever.
It was bad enough just finding that out because I didn't know that, at the very beginning, and then I remember when we found that out. They're actually married. What?
And then they got divorced.
Yes.
They got divorced like a year. Still, while they were filming, they got divorced.
I'll just give you one spoiler. She makes an appearance. I know she died in the last one.
Exes always do. They always
she found a way to come back.
Found a way to
She's
come back.
still hanging around.
One of the, I think season 5 maybe or 6 or whatever of that show. One of the episodes was entitled Nebraska because the writer of the episode was from some little town in Nebraska, and it was when Dexter drove from Florida to California, and he drove through Nebraska. And one episode was called Nebraska.
Remember that. And then wasn't he was also in 6 Feet Under, which was phenomenal. I've talked to people, and it's really funny. As a friend of mine, we were talking with one of their friends who is works in his family has one of the mortuaries in town. He's never watched it. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
You have to watch it. It's just such a great
show. I'm sure it would drive him crazy though. Just like when we watch
little nuances that they don't do that.
When we watch shows about people on radio and they don't wear headphones, or doctors watch Grey's Anatomy, drives him crazy.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true, but still very good. But Michael C. Hall, I mean, talk about hitting the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Laying the golden egg or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. But
can you get on your Google machine and see if
can.
any brothers and sisters have ever played husband and wife on TV and had to kiss or make out? Because I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that too many have.
I don't think anybody ever has.
That would be.
Well, they've got a list here. 13 cringeworthy times that actors have played siblings and love interests on screen.
Ew. I was actually kind of just kidding. Like, I didn't think that would really be a thing.
It doesn't say, though, brother and sister. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen played husband and wife in Godzilla, and then they were brother and sister in Avengers. So that was probably hard for some people, but they're not really related.
But if they don't ever make out or dry hump or on stage or anything or on
I don't
screen,
see
then
any
who
real
cares?
brothers and sisters. I don't think any real brothers and sisters would do that, Pat.
Well,
I think that'd be more controversial than any movie they could be in.
Well, talk about
Siblings playing on-screen love interests. What?
talk about press for your movie.
Hold on.
That would be awful.
There are a couple. Apparently, Game of Thrones dabbled in that for a second.
That doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise me
so
at all.
like real life siblings played.
Jason and Justine Bateman, Arrested Development,
Yeah.
said Arrested Development was very much aware of the incest angle when the show cast Jason Bateman's sister for an episode called Family Ties, wink, wink. In the episode, Michael, his character, believes he's found his long-lost sister, Nellie, played by Justine. However, Nellie is actually a hooker. And the two have an intimate dinner, which ends with her confessing that she's attracted to him. So they really didn't do anything.
And actually, I remember that show is one of the all-time best shows. It's hilarious. And I remember that episode, and you're right. They didn't.
Okay, here we go. Let's throw Michael Jackson in this pile. Michael Jackson and LaToya, the music video for Say, Say, Say. It says Michael and Paul McCartney singing their little love song. The video tells the story of a group of charlatans who conned the townsfolk out of money to give to an orphanage. And LaToya appears as a girl in a saloon that Michael is struck by, and he runs back to her as they smile at each other.
Okay, that's not
They
so
didn't do
bad.
anything.
That's
They didn't
not,
do
I'm talking about
anything.
people that have had a love scene or a makeout scene on screen. Like I could play my brother's husband in a show.
I know
I don't care. I could if it wouldn't be weird because as long as we don't have to touch.
I know, that's the thing. I'm not seeing anything that shows. I'm looking at going down the list to the ones that are like at the top of the pile. Like those were like number 10. Oh, John and Joan Cusack. John
Yeah.
Cusack. Yeah. Gross Point Blank. Apparently, there is. I guess John is a hitman who ends up at his high school reunion. His high school sweetheart Joan appears as his secretary.
It's a great
has
movie.
something for him. She likes him. No, there's
see?
nothing actually happens. And then what's number 1 on this list? Number 1 is the one that we were just talking about. Well,
I guess it depends on how much they're
Christine
paying.
Right? I don't know.
If they're paying,
Would you kiss your brother?
Ew. I mean, I don't know. It depends on if they're going to pay me 60 grand. I don't know. First of all, I don't know whoever would pay 60 grand, $60 million.
That's your number, 60 grand.
60 million, not 60
I'm
grand.
going to let Mike know that.
It'd be millions. But I can't imagine who would ever pay anything close to see us make out. Like
that's the bigger question.
There's not
right?
a huge market for that.
Okay, then we're safe.
So
we're
we're
safe.
good. We're good. There are some weird websites, but I don't think that would even fly.
That might be something. I mean, you could start something
You could
new.
get a lot of therapy for $60 million.
I don't know. All right, and then the other show that just started too on Showtime is called Yellow Jackets.
Never heard of it.
I had neither, and I saw a little promo for it, and Christina Ricci in it. I'm like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. So I look it up, and Juliette Lewis is in it too. I've just started watching it, so I'm not sure on the entire premise, so bear with me, but it is about a girls' soccer team in the 90s in high school. So it shows the beginning, and they win state. They're going to go to nationals. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of 90s music. I was thinking of Heidi the whole time while I was watching this, all these little athletes running around and this 90s music and the hair and everything else. And then it goes fast forward 25 years later, and where the girls are in their lives. What happened is at some point, and I'm not sure of where they were all going, if it was to nationals or if they were going to another tournament or whatever, the whole team was on a plane. It had crashed. Some of them didn't make it. And they were eventually found. And it was some remote location, like snowy mountains.
Did they eat each other?
I don't know what happened yet.
Okay.
All I know is that once they were found, some of them didn't make it. And the girls never talked about what actually happened to them up there. But then a reporter starts poking around and is wanting to know the real story of what happened because they kind of have an idea. She kind of knows. So
I bet they had to eat each other.
There's an indication. There was like this nuance because you don't really ever see people, at least as far as I've watched so far. Like I said, I'm in the first episode. But there are other people that are up there, like tribal.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. And so something happens. But anyway, I love Christina Ricci. I love Juliette Lewis. bonkers, crazy chick, but I love everything she's in, I swear.
Those tribal people had to, when that plane crashed, they're like, oh God, new me. Like,
Right?
they
It's
know,
like
they
buffet.
didn't,
I'm like-
zero skills. They're just sitting there. Oh, that'd be happy. They'd be really happy.
I don't understand, because I know some of them died in the crash, but something else happened too.
That sounds like a pretty interesting premise for a show.
Right? So that just got rolling too. So
What's it
it's
called?
like
Yellow Jacket?
Yellow Jackets. Yeah, that's the name of their high school mascot, Yellow Jackets.
Okay. That sounds decent.
So so you got Dexter, you got Yellow Jackets, Yellowstone.
Got Alone.
Huh?
Alone, the show that I was talking about before.
Oh, and
yeah,
Alone.
Alone, yeah.
That's right, because it's still going on. This is true.
Episode 12, yeah. So I have no idea where they are, but
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go. So a lot of good things.
yeah, that was a lot of good things. We went from presidential coincidences to
Right.
making out with your own sibling on screen.
Sketchy barn shit.
Sketchy barn shit. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Follow us. It's Pat and JT everywhere.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.